everybody, my name is Andy and welcome to the channel. This is the first long form video that I'm posting and it has been a struggle to create. I had to learn a lot of technological skills and I faced a lot of issues. This is like the third time this video is getting recorded, but if you're seeing this, I guess I succeeded, so yay me. But yeah, let's get into the video. So I figured that one of the first things that I wanted to do on this channel would be to kind of introduce myself and talk about what I hope are common interests, specifically Pokemon. I really love Pokemon. I've been playing it for many years. My first game was like Pokemon Pearl back in forever ago, but I really like starter Pokemon, and I wanted to rank them here with you guys. So yeah, so I've got us a little tier list set up here. There are 5 levels, and starting with the top, we have Perfect, which are Pokemon that I love with all my heart. Will choose like in every game, that type of thing. Next is Amazing, which is they're great Pokemon. I love them so much, but for whatever reason they're just shy of perfect. But we love them. Next up is Good, which is like, it's good. There's some things that bring it down from amazing for me. Just, we'll get into it as we go on, but good Pokemon. Next up is Fine, which is Pokemon that, they're cool, but they're just not my favorite. There's something about them that, either design wise or gameplay wise that I just like really take issue with and, lead me to not pick them or have that same affinity to them. And lastly, we have Meh, which is just Meh. I just, they've got something about them that I just don't really vibe with. And, it's not that I don't like these Pokemon, but they just are not my favorite. So, yeah. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to do this by type instead of generation, and we're going to do most recent generation first, and we're going to end up with Gen 1. So that's the order in which these are going to go in. And also, one more disclaimer: this is not based on competitive stats. This is not based on you know design or gameplay solely. This is just what I feel in connection with these Pokemon. It does not mean that I hate your favorite or love the one you hate the most. It just means that these are my feelings towards the starters. So as long as we can all be respectful about that, I am excited to get into this. So first up is grass, and I really like the grass type personally. The starters I think vary, but I generally have a positive view of them. Um, and we're going to talk about Sprigatito first, and Sprigatito, unfortunately, is going to be just fine for me. There's another starter Pokemon which kind of has like Sprigatito's exact problem. I'm sure you can guess who, but I don't like that it stands up, and I also don't like that it has a job. I want an elemental animal, um, and that's about it. I don't really need much more than that. And Sprigatito just kind of like, you know, it just doesn't do it for me in the way that like other starters do. So it's going to be in fine, despite it itself being very cute. Next up is Grookey, and Grookey is also kind of guilty of being like an employed type of starter, but it feels more like the drumming aspect that you see with like Rillaboom is more of a hobby or a vibe than it is like a profession. And I also just kind of like really like the way they designed Rillaboom. But yeah, Grookey is just good. I like him. Next up, we have Rowlet. And Rowlet is so cute. I think Rowlet is really great. They kind of lose me with Rowlet, with the very humanoid design choice they went with Decidueye, which I don't really care for. That's kind of what keeps it out of perfect, but I do really like the concept, and the Hisuian form is cool. But yeah, I'm just I think he's almost cute enough to be imperfect just off the baby form alone, but since I'm considering the whole line, yeah, Rowlet just kind of like falls short for me. Just short, but I do really like the little bird with a bow. Next up is Chespin, and Chespin is really cute. I like him a little more than Grookey, but I just think that the spiky chipmunk is just a really cool design. Quilladin's a rough middle evolution, but Chestnut I think is a good payoff, and yeah, I really enjoyed playing with him. So good is where he shall stay. Next up is our little Snivy. And I think that the Superior line is so cool in design, but in game, like I picked Snivy as like my starter and in that generation, and I just remember having a lot of trouble with him. He, they he's a monotype, which I kind of don't care for personally, but he just it was really hard for him to like really do damage, and it made like a large portion of the game kind of a slog. And I so like design wise I love him, but I remember getting so annoyed with him when I played that game for the first time, and that's just kind of stuck with me. So like I think that Snivy is good, but I think I like him a little more. I think I like Snivy a little more than Grookey, but yeah, that's good. That's gonna be where he is for me, like middle of the pack. Who's not middle of the pack though is Turtwig. Turtwig goes straight to perfect. He, full like Sinnoh bias at play here. Turtwig was my first starter ever. I teamed him up with a Staraptor. And so like the Torterra, which is such a cool design as well, was like Earthquake and everything, and Staraptor was, flying on everything else, and immune to the earthquakes in the cases of double battles. And I just think that he's such a cute little guy, and he will always have a special place in my heart. It is full bias though, like I accept that, but it's my tier list, so up to perfect he goes. And next up, we have Trico. Trico, unfortunately, is a meh for me. I'm just going to, rip the band aid off with it. I know Trico is so many people's favorite Pokemon. He's just not one of mine. I really like the other Pokemon from that generation more. And I just kind of was like, I understand that he is an elemental animal, but he's an elemental animal that, despite me giving him points for that, I just don't vibe with, unfortunately. So he's just gonna be a meh for me. But sorry to anyone who really likes him, because I know he's popular. He's just very like straight coded. And next up we have Chikorita. Chikorita's fine. I like Chikorita a little more than Sprigatito. I'm very excited to see what they do with Chikorita in the upcoming Legend ZA game, but at time of recording, my only real experience that I've been able to have with Chikorita is Heart Gold Soul Silver, where they are just not the best choice for like an easy time with the game. And you know, I really think I love the design, but yeah, I just think that like they need a lot of love, and I really hope they get it in this game. But without that information, um, Chikorita's line is just going to be in fine for me. But next up, we have Bulbasaur, the Kanto boy himself. Just shy of amazing, or sorry, just shy of perfect for me. But I love Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is one of the Pokemon that kind of got me interested in Pokemon to begin with. Venusaur is super cool, and yeah, I just have a lot of fond memories with the anime and him being literally number one. Not number one on this tier list, but number one in the decks. So yeah, that's what we got for the grass starters. We have a perfect kind of curve here, it seems, which I think speaks highly of the grass type. They're generally good. Sorry to anyone who feels offended by my selection, but yeah, it's my tier list. So this is what we got for grass types. Next up, we're going to turn up the heat with the fire starters. The fire type is one of my favorite types in Pokemon. Period. I love me a good fire type. That being said, the fire type starters have a lot of peaks and valleys, and we'll just get into it. So, starting off with Fuecoco, who was um, my starter choice in Scarlet. He's gonna go up to amazing for me. The go like I love that he's like full on crocodile. I love that he's a ghost type, and is just like really fun to like play the game through with. But where he gets brought down for me is just like he because he stands up with a microphone. It feels very like I don't know, lounge singer to me, and that I don't care for. I really don't like to think of my Pokemon as like having a job, and so like that's just like the design element for me because I can't unsee it unfortunately. So he's gonna be amazing, but he's not gonna be imperfect. I'm so sorry, but yeah. Next up, we have Score Bunny, and Score Bunny is meh for me. I played Pokemon Sword and Shield through with Grookey, and so that means that Leon had Score Bunny, and Leon is one of the most terribly designed characters in all of Pokemon history. I think he is the worst for me. Like, it makes me upset to even think about him. To be so real, like the cape with the sponsorships, and Score Bunny is a very like very aligned with Leon as aesthetically, like very like sponsorship sports like athlete type of energy, and I just really don't care for it. So Score Bunny's meh for me. Like I don't care for it despite how cute Score Bunny is. Next up, we have Litten, and Litten is going to be in fine for me. I know that Incineroar dominates the competitive scene, but like his fellow fine tier level brethren Sprigatito, I don't like that he stands up. I also don't like getting faked out by Torracat having, you know, what seems to be a Fire Cat like build up, and I really don't like that he stands up and also just is a wrestler kind of like inexplicably. It just kind of feels like a real like left turn in the design department. And yeah, so like also being just so dominant in the competitive field, I think I just get sick of looking at him sometimes. So he's going to be in fine. Next up is our Curse Breaker and Cursor, um, Fennekin. I like Fennekin. I think the design is like a choice. I don't like the standing up, and I just kind of think that Delphox looks kind of weird. Um, but it does get a lot of points for breaking the curse for me. It doesn't get a lot of points, but it gets some. So he's gonna be our Witchy Fox is gonna be in the good tier. Next up is Tepig, and Tepig. I'm very excited to see what they do with Tepig. I'd love for them to like retroactively remove the firefighting type. I think at this point it was just excessive, and we did not need firefighting types. And I also think we missed out on having like a fiery boar. I think that would have been a really cool Pokemon design. But I'm excited to see what they do with the line in the upcoming game. So, but I also like play Nuzlocke a lot, and Tepig is like really good for Nuzlocke. So I think I'm gonna put him in good for right now. Um, but I think he's gonna be I think he's gonna be just right there, just right next to his Gen 5 buddy. Next up is Chimchar. And, I love all the Gen 4 starters. And, I think that like Incineroar kind of almost gets a pass sometimes because he was like a firefighting type. It was just like, it hadn't been a pattern. It was like, it was just like a coincidence at that point. Um, and So Chimchar, I think I like him. I don't know if I like him more than Rowlet. I think I do actually. As cute as Rowlet is, Chimchar is he's just a little monkey, and I don't care that he's humanoid because he's a monkey. Same with Rillaboom, but yeah, so he's gonna be an amazing for me. I really do like that line. Next up is Torchic, and I really like Torchic. I think Torchic is so cute. Um, Torchic into Blaziken was really cool at the time. The first firefighter starter, the one who started it all. But he's just a cute guy who evolves into a really cool guy, and that's all I really ask for. And so yeah, he's gonna be an amazing, but yeah, just shy of perfect because you know, I don't have as much of a connection to Torchic because of another starter. But we'll get into that later. Next up is Cyndaquil, and I love Cyndaquil. I played with Cyndaquil in my Heart Gold Soul Silver runs as a kid. I love having Cyndaquil when I'm playing Nuzlocke through that generation. I love that they gave him a Hisuian ghost form because I also really like the ghost type in general. I think that he's just a little cool guy. I also remember watching the anime as a kid and not realizing that there were more starters than just like the Gen 1 starters. And so I just thought this was a guy that Ash had caught. And I just thought the idea of like a fiery porcupine was really cool. And so yeah, I think that I Cyndaquil is perfect for me. Pete like is very peak starter for me. I think he's really cool. I don't even hold the monotype against him. And lastly, for fire type, we have the man himself, the Charmander line. Um, yeah, the favorite of many a person over in Nintendo because this guy, ooh, he gets a lot of press. And I like him too, but I think just it's the pure saturation between the Gigantamax form and the two Mega forms, and just all the other stuff they do to promote this starter in particular. As much as I like him, I'm just almost kind of sick of seeing him sometimes. So, I do really like him. I'm a big fan of just dragons as a concept, but he's going to be shy of amazing for me. Or sorry, he's going to be shy of perfect for me. But yeah, he's going to be right there, and we'll see how things move around. But yeah, this is the grass and fire. Next, you can see that there's just like they're kind of evenly distributed for the most part, but like the opinions that I have vary like intensely. Like Incineroar almost makes me want to put him in meh, but like we'll just keep it for as it is for right now. All right, and lastly, we're going to cool off with the water types. And I really like the water types. I think in general, they kind of like are more solid, no pun intended, than the other starters. I think that they just like generally have good, consistent designs throughout the type in a way that the grass and fire starters do not typically. And, I think that being said, we're going to take Quaxley and we're going to put him up in like high good. I think I like Chessman a little more than him though. Yeah, I think the design is uh I really do like it. My problem with it is just it's pretty complicated in a way that just like takes away from me. I think that like that's kind of a problem with the Gen 9 starters altogether. They're all very complex designs, and I'm just like, I just want an animal. Like that's all I really ask for. But yeah, I do appreciate him, and so he's gonna be very like middle of the road for me. Primarina, however, I love my girl. I love the fairy type. I love everything that she does. Um, she's just a really cool concept, typing, design. Perfect for the game that she's in as well. Like she's really up there for me. So we stand. Next up is Sobble. Sobble, I just don't really have strong opinions about. He's just kind of there. He like I think that the concept of like a water gun hand is interesting, but I just think that the execution was a little weird. I think he's also very humanoid, which takes away from it for me. So, no real hate. I just kind of have like just nothing real. I don't have a lot of nice things to say about him, unfortunately. But that being said, we have Froakie, and I really like Froakie. I picked him as my starter in Gen 6 the first time round, and I thought that Frogadier was a really cool Pokemon. The thing that keeps him a little lower for me is that he um I don't I think his head is kind of weird. It kind of like takes away from me. Like I liked the Frogadier head a little more. Um but yeah, the very sharp angular top half and the tongue cape were a little interesting choices for me. Like just I get what they were doing. I also just didn't like it. So yeah, he's gonna be, I think, just under Snivy. Yeah, so that's kind of where he is for me. Meanwhile, Oshawott, I think Oshawott is so cute. I love the concept. Kind of similar thing to Froakie. Just the middle evolution is really cool, but they kind of lose me in the final evolution. Samurott, I just kind of like he just kind of turns into this seal with a giant shell on his head for kind of like not enough reasoning for me. You know, I love when he's my starter in Nuzlocke, but yeah, he and I love the dark type style that they gave him, which I think really helped. But I also think that they just like kind of dropped the ball a little bit with the final evolution on my boy. So he is going to be I think he's really high good. I don't know if I can put him in amazing, but he's really high good. All right, let's see if my Gen 4 bias shows up. And it will. I think that Piplup is really cool. Empoleon is so cool. I might like Piplup just under Bulbasaur, actually. The Trident thing and the penguin attitude. Also, just the Piplup in the anime was adorable. Um, so I love that. I love that little guy. And yeah, that's going to be where he is for me. Nothing else to really say about it. Next up is Mudkip. And here's the thing, I really like Mudkip. Mudkip is like I think my second favorite starter of all time. Um, after my boy Turtwig, of course, just the ground type starters really do it for me. Mudkip is so cute, and Swampert is just like this perfect design of a Pokemon for me. Just like it looks like it lives in a swamp and would chase me down in like my boat. He's amazing. I really like him, and he's so much fun to play in the games with. Um, Next up is Totodile. Very excited once again. Very excited to see what they do with him in the upcoming Legends ZA game. But at time of recording, I go off what we have, and that being said, I still really like him. I love playing with him in Nuzlocke. Cyndaquil is my guy, unfortunately, but Totodile is also very up there. Um, I just think that he was also so much fun in the anime. He's perfect starter for me personally. Like I just like he's not like perfect tier perfect, but he's just like he's amazing. It's a cool animal who like just is badass, and like that's all I really ask for. And Totodile delivers. Um, yeah, he just is shy of perfect for me, but like he's really up there. And lastly, the turtle himself, um, Squirtle, and Squirtle is just an amazing Pokemon, and he's gonna go into amazing for me. Like all the Gen 1 starters, they're classic for reasons. And I my thing with Squirtle is I loved him in the anime first off, and I also one of the first ways I was engaging with the Pokemon franchise as a kid was I would collect Pokemon figures, like not cards, but like figures. And Blastoise was the first one that my parents ever got for me, and so like I would just kind of have him on my windowsill, and I just kind of have a connection to him. And I also really like his Mega Evolution. I'm excited for that to come back. But yes, Squirtle. and the whole Blastoise line is just peak for me. So he's gonna be right up here with his buddies. And yeah, that's the tier list. Let's see. And yeah, so after taking another look at this, I think that this is all correct. I think that I clearly think the water starters are in general pretty good, and with some exception, and the grass starters are very evenly spaced throughout each other, and the starters have their peaks and their valleys. But this is, I think, an accurate reflection of my thoughts at time of recording. They they can always change, but I love my guys, and yeah, so we'll take another look here. But this is a final version, so here we go. Well, if you made it this far in the video, I assume that you liked it. And if you like it, I hope that you will consider liking the video and also subscribing to see when new videos come out, and, ring the bell so that you don't miss anything. This was a lot of fun to record, and I'm very excited to, keep making content. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Did you agree, disagree? Any strong opinions of your own? Let me know. But until next time, see ya.